Some objects feel impossible, not because they break physics, but because they don't fit the story we expect. A machine with gears that shouldn't exist. A map that seems too early. A book no one can read. These artifacts are real, and that is why they unsettle us. Tonight, we follow the evidence, not the myth. 10 artifacts, 10 debates, 10 reminders that history is still full of unanswered questions. This video is not about fantasy. It is about evidence and the gaps that evidence leaves behind. Each artifact here is documented, studied, and real. Some are mysterious because we lack context. Some are mysterious because we built stories around them that don't survive scrutiny. And some are mysterious because no one has decoded them yet. We will separate what is known from what is debated, and where claims are unverified, we will say so clearly. Fact 10. The Antikythera mechanism. In 1901, divers recovered bronze fragments from a shipwreck near the Greek island of Antikythera. What they had found was extraordinary, a compact device built from interlocking gears. Today, it is known as the Antikythera mechanism. Researchers believe it was designed to calculate and display astronomical cycles, the positions of the sun and moon, calendar cycles, and eclipse patterns. Its level of mechanical complexity has no equal in the ancient world. The dispute is not whether the artifact is real. It is. The debate is about how such a device existed in its era, and whether it was a unique masterpiece or part of a larger, now lost tradition. The mechanism shows a level of precision that most people associate with medieval or even modern engineering. Yet its inscriptions point to a practical, calendrical purpose rather than a decorative one. Why does this matter? Because it forces us to adjust our assumptions. The ancient world did not always move slowly. It sometimes leapt. And the Antikythera mechanism is one of those leaps, a hard, cold reminder that advanced ideas can vanish when the hands that build them disappear. Fact 9. The Baghdad battery. This object is a small ceramic jar with a copper cylinder and an iron rod sealed inside. Some writers call it the Baghdad battery. It has been proposed that if the jar was filled with a weak acid, it could generate a small electrical charge. The problem is that no one knows its original purpose. There is no definitive text that explains what it was used for. Some argue it may have been an early electroplating device. Others think the battery interpretation is an overreach and that the object may have had a very different purpose. Even experts who entertain the battery idea acknowledge that the evidence is limited. This is the pattern of many debated artifacts. We see an object, we test what it could do, and then we risk assuming it must have been used that way. The Baghdad battery sits at that edge, a real object with an unclear function, wrapped in a theory that remains contested. Echo 4. Fact 8. The Piri Reis map. In 1513, Ottoman Admiral Piri Reis compiled a world map. Only a fragment survives today, but it includes parts of Europe, Africa, and the Americas. The map's importance is not in being impossible. It is important because it shows how quickly new geographic knowledge spread through the early modern world. But the map has also attracted exaggerated claims that it shows Antarctica, that it encodes secret knowledge, or that it proves advanced navigation far beyond its time. Those claims are debated and not supported by consensus scholarship. So where does the mystery lie? In the patchwork nature of history. Piri Reis said he used many sources. We do not have them all. That missing context creates space for speculation. The map remains an important artifact, but its true power is historical, not magical. It is a reminder that accuracy can be impressive without requiring hidden technology. Fact 7. The Dendera reliefs. At the Temple of Hathor in Dendera, Egypt, a set of reliefs shows a snake inside an oval form, supported by a pillar. Some people claim the image resembles a modern electric light bulb. That claim is popular in fringe history, but it is not the mainstream interpretation. Egyptologists interpret the imagery as symbolic, tied to creation myths and religious iconography. The oval is read as a womb-like container, the snake as a divine figure, and the supporting pillar as a traditional symbol. The text around the reliefs supports the symbolic reading. So why is this in a list of debated origins? Because it shows how quickly visual resemblance can become a pseudo-scientific claim. The reliefs are real. The debate is about interpretation. When context is removed, a symbol can be recast as technology. The Dendera reliefs remind us that imagery, without language and culture, is easy to misread. Fact 6. The Roman dodecahedron. Across the former Roman provinces of northwestern Europe, archaeologists have found small, 12-sided metal objects, each face punctured by a circular hole, and each corner tipped with a knob. They are called Roman dodecahedra. Museums hold them, but their purpose is unknown. What makes them eerie is the silence around them. No written record explains their function. Theories range from practical tools to ritual or symbolic objects. But none of those theories has become consensus. Their distribution is also strange. They appear in some Roman regions and are absent in others. That uneven footprint adds to the mystery. This is not a case of an artifact that shouldn't exist. It exists. It simply refuses to explain itself. And that kind of silence can be more unsettling than any conspiracy, because it shows the limits of the historical record and how much can vanish without leaving a word behind. Fact 5. The Saqqara bird. In the late 19th century, excavators at Saqqara found a small wooden bird dated to around 200 BCE. It is now called the Saqqara bird. Some have claimed it is a model glider. Mainstream sources describe it as a carved bird model and note that it is not capable of flight. Why is it debated? Because the object looks aerodynamic and its tail is shaped unlike most known bird models. That has led to claims that it represents a lost understanding of flight. But those claims are not supported by evidence. No ancient Egyptian text describes a flying device, and the object lacks clear structural features that would allow stable flight. The deeper point is this: artifacts can invite modern projection. We see wings, we imagine flight. But the safest conclusion is also the simplest. It is a symbolic or ceremonial model, not an aircraft. Its mystery lies not in impossible technology, but in how easily we want to believe in it. Fact 4. The Kensington rune stone. In 1898, a farmer in Minnesota reported finding a stone slab covered in runic inscriptions. The stone is dated 1362 in its own text and describes a Scandinavian expedition in the interior of North America. If authentic, it would change history. Most scholars, however, consider it a forgery. The debate is old and stubborn. Critics point to linguistic features that appear too modern for the 14th century. Supporters argue that some details could still be consistent with medieval usage. The result is a fractured consensus. Most researchers reject the stone. A minority still defend it. This is a classic example of disputed origin. The object exists, its story is contested, and the emotional stakes are high. The Kensington runestone sits at the boundary between national myth and historical method. Its real power is not what it proves, but what it reveals about belief. Fact 3. The Coso artifact. The Coso artifact is a modern legend. In 1961, a group claimed to find a strange object inside a hard nodule. Some called it proof of ancient technology. Later analysis identified it as a 1920s-era spark plug. Researchers compared the artifact to known 1920s models and matched its design. The supposed mystery dissolved under scrutiny. Why include it in this list? Because it shows how myths form. A claim appears, a dramatic story spreads. The correction arrives later and rarely travels as far. The Coso artifact is not ancient, but the story around it is a cautionary tale about how badly we want out-of-place artifacts to be real. Fact 2. The Vinland map. For decades, the Vinland map was presented as a medieval map showing the New World before Columbus. Conservators and scientists later concluded the map is a modern forgery. Their analysis found modern ink, including titanium compounds, not available in the 15th century. This was not a rumor. It was a scientific finding based on material analysis. The map's parchment may be old, but the drawing itself is not. That's a key distinction. Sometimes a genuine material is used for a false image. The Vinland map's story is both sobering and useful. It shows that even famous artifacts can be questioned and retested. And it shows that science can resolve some mysteries, not by guessing, but by analyzing what the object is made of. Fact 1. The Voynich manuscript. The Voynich manuscript is a 15th century book written in an unknown script with illustrations of strange plants, astronomical diagrams, and human figures in unexplained scenes. It has never been decoded. This is the purest kind of mystery. It is not a hoax proven false. It is not a tool with a missing label. It is a text that refuses to speak. Some researchers see it as an encrypted natural language. Others suspect it is a constructed system or a complex artifact of symbolism. No consensus exists. Why end here? Because the Voynich manuscript shows the limits of evidence. We can date the parchment. We can study the ink. We can analyze patterns. But none of it unlocks the message. It stands as a reminder that some questions endure not because we are careless, but because the past can be silent. These artifacts are not all impossible. Some are misunderstood. Some are still debated. Some have been explained, and some refuse explanation. What they share is the power to make us ask deeper questions about what we know and what we only think we know. If you want a channel niche that thrives on mystery without sacrificing credibility, this is it. We can keep the tone cinematic, the facts verified, and the hooks strong, while still respecting the evidence. Which artifact surprised you the most, and why? And which one deserves a full documentary episode next?